Shark says this vacuum runs for 70 minutes. I bought one, tested it against that number, and I need to tell you exactly when that's true and when it's nowhere close. Because if you buy this thing expecting 70 minutes of floor cleaning, you're going to be disappointed by Tuesday. Welcome to Sweep Gear, where we dig into the research and the real-world experience behind these vacuums so you know exactly what you're getting before you spend your money. Here's the problem almost every cordless vacuum owner runs into. You charge it up, you start cleaning, and either the bin fills up faster than you'd like or the battery just quietly gives out before you're done with the house. It's one of the most common frustrations people have with cordless vacuums, and it's exactly the problem Shark built this machine to solve. That matters more than it sounds like. Nobody wants to think about their vacuum. You want to grab it, clean your floors, put it away, and move on with your day. Every extra step, every dead battery, every full bin you have to deal with by hand, that's friction most of us don't have time for. So Shark built what they call PowerDetect into this machine. It's really 4 separate technologies working together. One senses whether you're on carpet or hard floor and adjusts the roller speed. One senses when you hit a dirtier patch and bumps up the suction automatically. One adjusts power based on whether you're pushing forward or pulling back. And one senses when you're near a wall or a baseboard and boosts suction right at the edge. The idea is simple. You shouldn't have to think about any of this. The vacuum should just figure it out. And it actually backs that up in practice. This machine posted some of the strongest suction numbers ever recorded from a Shark cordless vacuum, well above the average for the category. On a deep carpet test where debris gets worked into the fibers, it scored a perfect result, beating the typical score for cordless vacuums in that same test. What surprised me is that it handled hard floors and carpet equally well without switching heads. A lot of premium cordless vacuums make you swap between a soft roller for hardwood and a bristle roller for carpet. This one just adapts on the fly. So if your home has a mix of tile, hardwood, and carpet, which is most homes, you're not stopping to change attachments every time you cross a threshold. Pet hair pickup is where this thing genuinely shines. It's got built-in combs on the roller that actively pull hair off as you clean, instead of letting it wrap around and choke the brush. That anti-tangle system performed exactly as advertised when it was put through its paces. Owners with big, heavy-shedding dogs report going months without a single hair wrap issue. But here's something I need to flag, because it seems to contradict everything I just said, and it's important you hear it. That same strong pet hair pickup that gets so much praise also shows up in a recurring complaint. A meaningful number of pet owners report the powerhead clogging, sometimes badly enough that suction drops until they clear it out by hand. Both things are true. The anti-tangle system genuinely works well for a lot of people, and a real subset of owners are still running into clogs. I'll come back to what that likely comes down to in a minute. Let's talk about what actually happens when you dock this vacuum, because this is the feature everyone talks about first. You finish cleaning, you slide it into the base, and in about 2 or 3 seconds, the dock sucks the debris out of the vacuum's small bin and into a larger bag-less container underneath. No more carrying a dust cup to the trash can after every single clean. Shark says that base can hold up to 45 days of dirt and debris before you need to empty it yourself. That's a real quality of life change if you've ever owned a stick vacuum with a tiny bin that fills up in one pass around a single room. Here's a detail most people miss entirely. There's a small switch on the dock that lets you turn off the auto empty cycle at night because that emptying process, while quick, is genuinely loud. Shark clearly built that switch because they knew it would bother people trying to vacuum after the kids are asleep. Now back to that battery question I opened with. Shark's 70-minute claim is technically accurate. It's measured with the handheld unit alone in the lowest power mode with no floor attachment connected. That's not how anyone actually cleans their house. Once you attach the floor head and use it the way you'd actually use a vacuum, real-world runs on maximum power landed at around 13 minutes. In the normal automatic mode, where the vacuum is adjusting power based on what it detects, realistic runtime falls somewhere between 25 and 40 minutes, depending on how much carpet you're covering. So if you're in a smaller home or apartment, that's plenty to get everything done in one go. If you've got a larger house with multiple bedrooms and a lot of carpet, you may need to plan your cleaning in a couple of sessions or dock it partway through to top off the charge. That's the honest expectation, and it's a very different number than the one on the box. One thing that softens that a little, the battery is removable and separately replaceable. That matters more than people realize. A lot of premium cordless vacuums seal the battery in permanently. So when it eventually wears down, you're either stuck with reduced runtime or you're buying a whole new machine. Here, you can swap in a fresh battery pack instead. Shark's own documentation is upfront that lithium batteries naturally lose capacity over time, which is honestly refreshing to see acknowledged rather than buried. If you're considering picking one up, I've left the current price and a link to check today's deals down in the description. Let's talk about what it's actually like to use day to day. The multi-flex wand bends in the middle so you can get the floor head flat and slide it under a couch or a bed frame without crouching down or dragging furniture out of the way. That's one of those features that sounds minor on paper and turns out to be genuinely useful every single time you vacuum a living room. As for weight, the full unit with the wand and floor head attached is on the heavier side for this category, mostly because of the bigger battery. It's noticeably lighter than something like a flagship Dyson in the same configuration, but you'll feel it more than an ultra lightweight budget stick vacuum. Noise runs a bit above average at full power too, so if you're sensitive to loud machines, keep that in mind. That's separate from the quick auto empty cycle, which is its own brief burst of noise. Now, back to that clogging question. Based on the pattern and owner feedback, it looks less like a fundamental design flaw and more like something that depends on your specific situation. Homes with heavier, denser fur, thick carpet, or infrequent filter cleaning seem more likely to run into it. If you've got a shorter-haired pet and you stay on top of basic maintenance, most owners report smooth performance. It's a real trade-off worth knowing about, not a guarantee of trouble. The included accessories are on the lean side. You get a crevice tool and an upholstery tool, but there's no motorized hand tool or extension hose in the box, which limits how versatile it is for stairs, car interiors, or furniture compared to some competitors. If detailed handheld cleaning matters a lot to you, that's worth factoring in. So how does this stack up against the vacuum most people are cross-shopping it with? The Dyson Gen 5 Detect. Dyson tends to edge it out on claimed runtime and comes with a fuller set of attachments. But this Shark costs significantly less, roughly half the price in a lot of cases, and it comes with that auto empty dock, which Dyson's comparable model doesn't offer at all. Actual floorhead runtime on maximum power came out nearly identical between the two, around 13 minutes each. So if the auto empty convenience matters to you and you don't want to pay flagship pricing, this closes that gap fast. If you specifically want the longest possible runtime and a bigger accessory kit, Dyson still has an edge there. So who is this actually right for? If you've got a small to mid-sized home, a mix of hard flooring and carpet, and you hate dealing with a dustbin after every clean, this is a strong match. Pet owners will likely appreciate the pickup power as long as you're realistic about occasional maintenance. If your home is large and heavily carpeted and you need one continuous session without a recharge, budget for that shorter real-world runtime or plan to split your cleaning into 2 passes. And if you're in a tight apartment with limited floor space, think carefully about where that dock is actually going to live because it's not a small footprint. Putting it all together, this is a genuinely strong cordless vacuum for the price, with suction performance that holds its own against machines costing twice as much, and a self-emptying system that actually changes how often you think about your vacuum. The battery claim oversells what you'll get in real use, and the clogging issue is real for some households. But neither one is a deal breaker if you go in with accurate expectations. That, more than anything, is the difference between loving this vacuum and feeling let down by it. If you've dealt with this same battery life gap on another cordless vacuum, or if you've got pets and want to know if this one's worth it for your specific situation, drop a comment and let me know what you're working with. If this helped you get a clearer picture, hit like so more people can find it, and subscribe to Sweep Gear for more honest, research-backed reviews before you spend your money.